Do you often say things like, when the time is right, I will start this new thing? Or I'm waiting for the perfect circumstance to happen for me to start this new hobby or this new venture. Or I couldn't start this new opportunity because of such and such. I'm sorry, guys, and I'm sorry to break it to you. We gotta stop with the excuses because I'm sorry to say that nobody is coming to save you, and it is time for you to take charge of your own life. If you are tired of waiting for change to happen and you're ready to start making that change happen within you, I would encourage you to keep watching. And hi, my loves. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chelsea, and if you're new here, I just love to talk about all things self development, self improvement, and just figure out how we can all live better, happier, more fruitful lives together. So, without further ado, the first concept you need to understand when taking charge of your life is that you need to release the idea that someone or something is coming to save you. I feel like a big reason why people don't feel like they have control over their lives is because they give all of their power away by putting all of their hope and their energy and their happiness into something or someone external that they don't actually have control over. And of course, this is a little bit difficult because your entire life, especially when you're a child, you are raised to rely solely on your parents or your community or your caretakers or whatever it might be. When it comes to everything, when you're eating, what time you need to go to bed, if you need to get to school, or I don't know, extracurriculars, whatever it might be, we do rely heavily on our parents and our community and our family members. I feel like we're even socially conditioned to believe that at the end of some specific thing, is our happiness or our success or our fulfillment. I feel like I've heard things like, once I find my spouse or I find my partner, I'm going to be super duper happy. Once I, maybe graduate school and I get this job, my life will feel complete. Or this big one that I hear all of the time still to this day is, once I win the lottery, then my life will finally be free. My life will be good. And, as much of an advocate as I am for believing that great things will happen for you in your life, I feel like there is a thin line between that and then also putting all of your energy and your hope and relying solely on things that you can't control. Because then we get to a point where we're sitting stagnant, not taking charge and not doing things that we can do in our day to day to improve our circumstances, and we just end up sitting and waiting for this big moment to happen that I feel like won't come. When you become an adult, you have to realize that this magical, life changing moment or thing that you were waiting for is you. You are the magical, life changing moment. You are the common denominator in your life becoming what you want it to be. There is no specific day that's going to happen, there's no specific opportunity. You have to create that for yourself whenever you decide it's time to stop playing around and taking charge of your life. I am asking you all to bet on yourself and bet on your capabilities and realize that you're more powerful. Whoa. And realize that you're more powerful than you might believe you are. Stop giving away your power to things that you have no control over and figure out what it is that you can do right now, even the smallest thing that might shift your life and your perspective. Now, the second concept to understand when taking charge of your life is that there is no perfect time to do anything. And obviously, I feel like this one is so obvious, but it is easier said than done. And I feel like I feel like we often say this, and even myself, I love to use this saying as like an excuse to procrastinate. Because if you are waiting for things to feel right, for you to feel 100% ready to do something, I feel like you're going to be waiting a really long time. Because are we ever really fully ready for anything? I don't think so. And I used to do this to myself, and I still find myself doing it, but I'm trying to step out of it. But I really did do this when I was starting my YouTube channel, or I guess before I started my YouTube channel. I would make all of the excuses under the sun to not start this channel. I would say that, this isn't technically my career per se. I want to make sure that my room looks a bit cuter before I start filming. I don't even know exactly what my topics are going to be. At the end of the day, I had to realize that I was just making excuses because I was scared and I didn't know what it would feel like to put myself out there, to try and be consistent weekly with making the videos. And I think I knew deep down that it would just be difficult and uncharted territory. And I didn't want to step into that. So I was making excuses. And especially because I can be a perfectionist, it felt like I wanted to make sure that when I did something, it felt right, and then I was putting out quality content or whatever it might be. But it really does get to a point where it's like, okay, Am I really concerned about the quality of this content? Because I think what I'm saying has so much value, even if I don't have the best lighting or I don't have the best equipment or camera or whatever it is. Am I really like, do I really feel unready? Or like, am I just actually making excuses because I'm scared? For a long time, I believed that feeling motivated or having strong feelings towards something or starting something new was an indicator that I was ready to do it. But that isn't always the case. And if you're solely relying on motivation or to feel this spark of like, okay, I'm ready right now in this moment, I feel like you're going to be waiting for a long time, or you're going to put your energy into things halfly. Like, if that makes sense, I just feel like you're relying on things that you can't always control. And what I've had to learn is that you can't rely on motivation to start something. You have to start something and the motivation will come. So waiting for that special moment to come when you're feeling motivated, I think is just a slippery slope. Yeah. And think about it this way. This can even, relate to the smallest things. Let's say you said you wanted to start managing your finances better or learn more just about financial literacy in general, but you don't have time because your days are super busy, or it would, just be easier if somebody came and just gave you all of the information and told you what to do. When in reality, if you had just given yourself 10 minutes a day to listen to an audiobook, listen to a podcast, find a YouTube video, read an actual book, go to Google, do a small bit of research, because we have so much knowledge, we have access to so many things with the internet. If you just took 10 minutes out of your day to seek out this knowledge yourself, maybe your circumstances would be different now. Instead of you waiting for the perfect opportunity, let's say you're like, okay, you know what, I would love to have more money. And then when I do get more money, I will start learning how to manage my finances. Do it now. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? For real. Ask yourself. And I'm asking myself the same thing too when it comes to other things. Genuinely ask yourself, what are you actually waiting for? And when you realize that you're just making excuses, I think we'll all be in a place where we feel a little more comfortable just stepping out of our comfort zones and starting the thing that is scary. Because the difference between doing the thing now and doing it later when you feel ready is that you're just going to end up wasting more time. Because at the end of the day, waiting longer is not going to take away the nervousness or the scary feelings you might feel, or even the potential anxiousness you might feel, or just being unready. That is not going to go away with more time. It'll go away once you start and you start doing the thing and you start becoming more confident in what it is that you're doing. So instead of just wasting time, might as well start now. Now, the third concept to understand when taking charge of your life is that you have to start taking accountability for things, even if they are not your fault. The phrase, it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility, shook me to my core when I first heard it, because I feel like there was a time in my life where I definitely just wanted to be the victim. And I was like, you know what? It's not fair. Like, these are my circumstances. I didn't have this knowledge growing up. I don't have access to this. I don't have this opportunity, yada, 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 yada. But it does get to a point where you realize that if you want things to change, you are going to have to make the change yourself. And you can't continue to blame things that happen in your life. And I'm not saying, that it isn't, a little unfortunate that we don't just wake up every day with everything laid out for us, with all of the opportunities, with all of the wealth, with all of the support in our lives. But I will say, you can make excuses until you are run into the ground. If you don't make the change yourself, especially once you become an adult and you realize that this is you and it's your life and you're going to have to make the changes that you want to happen, you're never going to get to where you want to be. You're never going to get past those blocks that are holding you back from the life that you want. Whatever you didn't have growing up, whatever opportunities you didn't have, whatever support systems you didn't have, I'm sorry you didn't have them, but it is time for you to become that support that you've been dreaming of. It is time for you to become that opportunity that you have been waiting for, because I promise you, once you do start taking action, things will fall into place. People will see that you are trying. You'll just attract more opportunities for yourself, but you do have to start, and you have to stop blaming everything else and everyone else on why your life is the way it is. It is time for you to become that person or that thing or that opportunity that you have been waiting for forever. Honestly, guys, you don't have to wait for this beautiful, magical sign or this magical moment to happen for things to change in your life. You are the sign, you are the moment, you are the factor that is going to make all of the difference. Believe in your power, believe in your ability to enact change in your life. Starting small is still starting, but it's better than sitting and waiting for things to happen instead of just doing something that might make a difference in your life. Take charge of your circumstances and understand that everything you desire is within you. I believe in you. We can all do this together. I know we can get to a place where we're all super duper happy about our lives and our circumstances, but that is not going to happen until we start taking accountability and taking charge of our lives and realize that, damn, it is up to us. Which, can be scary at first, but once you do realize that, it's so freeing because it is just up to you. Start making the change, start making the movements. You got this. Anyways, my loves, thank you so much for watching today's video. I love you so bad, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.